now.
Shy.
Speak up now.
Or are you still too shocked to ask anything?
Yes.
Well, I was wondering, you said that this is not the easiest kind of movie to make in Germany, so what was the casting process like? How did you convince people to come along?
Was different from episode to episode. Like in your case, we were looking for a young girl, and
the main actor was someone I worked on a stage production about Edward Gein. I don't know if you know the grave robber from the 50s.
But regarding the girl, it was necessary also to talk to the parents, you know. And we had long discussions, you know, with the parents, and they were quite open to your work.
And finally, the mother was always around and doing the catering for us. So
yeah,
that worked out fine. And she actually was a caterer for the rest of the movie, for your episodes as well.
Yeah. But we had to really talk exactly which scenes she's gonna be in and which scenes are gonna be doubled by someone else, you know. So obviously you saw it why, you know.
For the rest of the cast, it's pretty easy to get actors for such a film, because every actor wants to be in such a film. They don't want to be always in well-educated German dramas and comedies, and so they want to have to show emotions and to die and to suffer, and so it's pretty easy to get actors who normally play in TV or so for such a project, and they had a hell of a time doing it.
Especially the guy, Rüdiger Kuhlbrot, who
yes.
played Petrus in your episode.
Yes, the old guy, he normally plays TV roles and is bored by it. He said every sentence he reads in screenplays, he had said at least 10 times. This time in Alraune, was all completely new for him, and he really had a great time doing this. And the girl, Kira, the sexy dark-haired girl, was an actor student, and she was playing her first role in a film. And she's really talented, I think. But the acting school was really pissed off with me, because she had to be naked and stuff, and I used to teach on this school, and afterwards I didn't teach there anymore. Well, it's life.
And in my episode, the SS man in this flashback sequence was played by the Polish reenactment group in Warsaw.
People who are
with original uniforms.
Yes.
Yes.
Because someone at a festival, I can't remember what, complained about the bad costumes.
Yeah, but reenactments group, they look for accurate costumes and weapons and everything. You know?
The Polish guys who play SS, who have this really a big aim at their life to be completely perfect SS people.
And Andreas also dubbed one of the SS men on the
yes.
tank. He said, "Aussteigen!"
This was my voice.
More questions?
Well, what's the main idea of putting 3 movies into this one? Just to save money, or?
No,
not having enough ideas probably.
Actually, it's more expensive to make this kind of movie with 3 different episodes than 1 movie, because we have 3 different directors, 3 different, 3 times more actors, and you have more locations, and you know, it's just really, it's like producing 3 movies, you know.
Yeah. And the idea came when I was on festivals with my last film, Masks. People were always asking, why is there no anthology movie from Germany? Because there were the Theater Bizarre and ABC of Death and so, there are never German directors in. And they asked me, what about Jörg Buttgereit? Why doesn't he do films anymore? And I know Jörg very well since 1983, where I was drawing the first poster for his film Hot Love, and then I draw the poster for Necromantic 1 and 2. And I called him up, and because I didn't get much money then in the 80s, he couldn't say no to me. So afterwards I met Michal at a festival in Transylvania. where he was with this film, and we noticed we suddenly noticed that we were neighbors in Berlin, and so we joined. And we just wanted to do something together. And
just pretend it's normal to do a horror movie in Germany.
yeah.
With no funding, with no cuts, and this kind of
So everybody worked independently on their own stories, and we exchanged ideas as well, you know, but we really had the total freedom to do whatever we wanted, actually, you know. And me as a producer, I guaranteed that they can express themselves the way you want.
But when you
With
go
no
to send to
limitations.
TV, you will cut out all the stuff.
That's a different story.
Question.
Please.
What about the name of the movie?
It's
Did
called
you
German
have any
Angst.
other-
Yeah, German Angst. German Angst normally is a political term. It describes German anxiety and the German fear of nuclear energy and stuff. But I think this is a very polemic and manipulative term in political sense. I wanted to use this in a more self-conscious way, and just saying, well, fuck you, this is the German version of fear, you know. Angst is not, is something like fear, panic, terror, and can be a much stronger emotion, and this is the German version of it. And each of us has his own way to interpret this title.
I think for us it's kind of important to just point out that this film is from Germany, because for us it's something special to do this in Germany, because there's no support for this kind of movie. So and again, this is a movie Germans are afraid of, so to speak.
You have said in an interview, Jörg, that it is a political statement to do a horror film in Germany. Can you, all of you, explain a little bit of the first reactions you have received from the films in festivals or in Germany?
Well, in Germany, it's you know, we have this big film festival called just Fantasy Film Fest in Germany, and it's a festival that travels from one city to another. It's in 7 major cities, and we had big crowds in the film, but we also had very mixed reactions because people are suspicious because there are no German horror movies again, you know.
And a lot of people in Germany say it's not possible to make a horror film in Germany. And when 3 assholes like us turn up and make a horror film, they don't necessarily like this.
There was a funny question in Hamburg, you know, like somebody asked you, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
What is it about?
What is this all about? I did try to explain that we choose to do a movie because we didn't want to explain it to you. But then he was, no, that's going too far, and so I said, okay, the message of my movie is I'm against child abuse, and the guinea pig is a metaphor. And then he was satisfied. And everybody liked the movie. And everybody bought a Blu-ray, and
We got rich.
yeah. No, but that's you mean we still have a very strict censorship, and we had problems with German Angst getting an 18 certification. We had to apply it a second time together with a district attorney, all this kind of stuff. So it's really a political statement to push something like this in a cinema and to put it out on video without any cuts. Because normally horror movies are kind of defenseless. You know, the directors normally in the US and the distributors in Germany, they don't really care about these films. And yeah, so if some of these films get censored or banned, nobody really cares. But if it's people like us who live in the same country, we stand up for our film, and that's the statement, I think. Just to, yeah. And, you know, we have a lot of, maybe you know, low-budget, homemade horror films that are made in Germany, and that's also this kind of stuff we are suffering from, that everybody, when it comes to German horror movies, you know, a lot of people, oh, there was necromantic, and then there's all the children of necromantic, you know, these strange little movies, and these movies are kind of...
They 100% gore.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't expect the film like a German Angst, which has something different, a different approach to gore. And we use gore as an element, but it's not mainly about gore, I think, this film. And some of the gore fans don't like this. They
it's too complicated.
Yeah.
There's too much stuff. There's too much stuff happening before the gore happens. But that's the problem I had with films like Necromantic 2 and stuff with all my films. So that's still a problem in Germany because it's just too complicated. It takes too long. It's like a porn movie with lots of dialogue.
Let's hope this problem is limited to Germany only, you know.
But I think one of the reasons this film really, well, it doesn't work like a horror movie and it doesn't work like an art house movie. I think the fact that we have to defend this kind of movie all the time makes us think more about what we are doing, and that's why we do this kind of, political correct horror movie. I don't know, you know, it's this need to get a good excuse out of it makes us to think more about it, which is good for the movie. So censorship is good in a way, in the end. It makes you think more.
How long did it take to make this movie, and also how much did you have for a budget?
So it took us, the first idea, the first meeting we had was February 2013, and the film was finished December 2014. So less than 2 years, and the budget was less than €1 million. Yeah.
Could this film ever be made without the boost from crowdfunding that you received?
I mean, probably, but I was very happy that we could establish this crowdfunding campaign in Germany, which was very successful. So we created a lot of buzz. It was a lot of things were written about the movie, you know, and this helped us a lot to find another bigger private investors. One was from the United States, from Germany, from Monaco. So one of the executive producers was the guy Michal, who was the producer of Maps to the Stars. We met in Cannes. So it was good amount of private investors who believed in our project and the energy, you know, and they trusted us, you know. We're very happy.
I think they were really important because without this boost of energy, we wouldn't have taken off. Probably.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to raise money if you have nothing. In the moment you've got a little bit money from crowdfunding, you can start shooting teasers and you can make events where you invite people, and it's just absolutely necessary to have this initial push of energy.
And actually we have one of the crowdfunders with us because he spent like enough money for us to. Well, what he did is he bought himself a ticket to Night Visions. So we took him this time so we can see how glamorous the life of filmmakers are. So that's what you get for crowdfunding. Jörg is here somewhere.
Yeah, Jörg.
He's hiding somewhere. Oh yeah, there in the back. So he gave us
Come here.
A lot
of money,
Please, come here.
It's him. But that's how you can see how important it is just to get this
especially in the
feedback.
beginning, you know. It's to raise the first money is the most difficult, you know. And then when other investors look that you are working, you know, and there's a progress, they feel the progress, you know, then they give you more and more and more, you know. But it's always
not much, but
but it's always a kind of risk, you know, for me as a producer. Without being funded by the state, you know, by the region, you know, where we live. So it's, you know, you have to produce, you have to make plans for the next shooting, you know, because it takes a long time. And without that, you know, maybe in many cases, sometimes, you know, the investor doesn't pay in time, you know. There are many, many problems that an independent production has to fight with. But finally, you know, if we stand together, it's possible, you know.
normally when you shoot a film in Germany, it has to be financed by TV. Nothing is possible without TV, and there's no way to finance such a film with TV because it will never be on TV.
Not in this version.
Yeah, not in this way.
Well, how about the distribution then? Do you have means to distribute it?
Yeah, we have, first of all, we got attached a sales agent, which is really suspect, a sales agent from Paris. And so he's taking care of the sales, and so he was attached in the very early stage. It was in May 2013. And then we sold so far 3 territories, Germany and Scandinavia to Mutafilm, you know, and Taiwan. And
So it's all over the world. If you sell it to Taiwan,
and we have now.
you can actually buy it from a Taiwanese guy.
Okay, we have to leave now. I see.
Yeah.
One last question, right?
Yeah, just one last question.
Can I get a picture with you guys?
Yes, we shall.
That's why we're here.
You want to come up on stage, or?
Sure, if that's not a problem.
Yes.
But yeah, the two of us, we will be back pretty soon to introduce
Yeah.
Necromantic anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We have the Q&A. For Necromanticia varten niin pidetään Q&A jo ennen elokuvaa poikkeuksellisesti, eli kaikki, jotka on tulossa sinne, niin 2 herroista palaa